Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Arno TV is back with you once again live on YouTube, bringing you another emergency broadcast with regards to the developing situation over in America with these continued drone or UAP sightings all over the east coast of America. This situation does not seem to be, easing or anything of that nature for the better, but just seems to be escalating, spreading now to further states. So we thought we'd come back online after being with you on Saturday and providing you an update to what on earth is going on. And if you just bear with me a one moment, I'm just checking the stream on my mobile. So let me make sure that this is actually going live. Let me just check with you. Is that going live? Are we actually live as yet? I'm just waiting to confirm if we are actually out live at the moment. Because yes, it looks like we are live. Fantastic. So, as I said, we've come back online tonight to do another emergency broadcast about the developing situation over in the east coast of America. So as you can see, we're straight on the internet to bring you some updates of this escalating situation, which is absolutely crazy to think about what is going on over in the east coast of America right now, with multiple sightings on a daily basis of drones or UAPs that are flying through the skies, as we've said, with total impunity. And still we have no substantial answer from the authorities over there or anything of that nature. There seems to be a blanket silence, and this is only further fueling all sorts of speculation online. We've seen the videos that we showed you on Saturday. We've seen, the worst cases of people taking the law into their own hands. And if there is anybody that's watching out in America, I urge them not to take the law into their own hands, because we don't want people doing the things that we saw in that video the other day on Saturday. So I would just urge for people not to take the law into their own hands at all in this situation, because it could make a crazy situation even worse. But as I said, we're on the internet, and I'm going to show you some things, about this developing situation, which on the whole, as we said on Saturday, seems to be, in the main, pretty much a silence from the mainstream media in the UK. And I remind people out there as well that we have had these drones or UAPs in the UK flying over 4 RAF bases, again with impunity, with the authorities telling us that they don't know what these things are, but at the same time there's no security threat. They're not able to bring these so-called drones out of the sky with the technology that's available out there. And as I've said on the videos that we've already shown you, especially in the east coast of America, particularly around New Jersey, people are reporting seeing these so-called drones or UAPs flying over the skies with impunity, and some of these have been estimated to be the size of a school bus. I want people to think about that. And, as we said on Saturday, we've actually seen no real commentary from the FBI. I mean, we've had the FBI come out, I believe, on Friday and publicly state that they had no idea who or what is in charge or is in control of these drones, who or what is responsible for this, what they're doing there. But we're led to believe from the authorities that there's no cause for concern. This is absolutely incredible, this situation that is developing. And as we said the other day, how long is this going to be before this comes to a sky near you? So let's just see on the internet some update of what on earth is going on out there. So let's start here And this, again, these are all the things that I'm going to show you. They've all been published in the last couple of hours, so this is very, very fresh stuff out here. Unlike the other day when I wasn't as prepared for as what I'm doing this evening, it was very impromptu on Saturday. I have left all the links of everything that I'm going to show you in the description of this video on this live stream, so you obviously can look into what I'm showing you yourself. For anybody out there that thinks that this is some kind of a hoax, still, this is actively going on, and we need to start asking, especially our own government in the UK, why have none of these people come out and made a commentary on what on earth is going on in our skies? So let's start here, and this is a video from News Nation, which I'll leave the link in the description of this video. And this is today, Connecticut State Senator, a guy called Tony Hwang, has come out and spoken about these drones that have now appeared over another state, Connecticut, okay? And the lack of information, I repeat, the lack of information at all by the government, the military, the federal government. We've seen absolutely no military in our skies attempting to deal with this situation, but the public, the wider public, are supposed to be not concerned at all about this. Okay, so let's hear what Tony Hwang has to say, and this video came out 5 hours ago. Okay, so this is very recent. Let's press play and let's hear what this guy has to say about this unbelievable situation that is developing.
Let me repeat again. I want to be here to advocate and give voice to my constituents, and to ask for information that is critically needed to guide state authorities, our state agencies, and to ultimately empower our local law enforcement to be able to do their job to protect and inform our community. Because at present, we're at a standstill. We're not getting that information from our federal authorities. So it's very unsettling to public safety and security and our peace of mind during the holiday season. So urgently, at present, what we have is a lack of information at all levels of government to the public.
I want people to think about what this state senator, Tony Hwang, is saying. A complete lack of information. This situation has been going on for over a month in certain places, particularly around New Jersey. This has been going on for weeks, okay? And there is a blanket silence going on. And this is leading to a massive vacuum out there of huge speculation about what is going on. And, this is obviously to be expected because the government, the federal government, the FBI, the military, nobody is saying anything about now thousands of sightings of what is going on in our skies. Okay, let's continue with Connecticut State Senator Tony Hwang answering questions about these drone sightings today.
It's unacceptable. The fact that we had a sighting last Thursday and that weeks have gone by in New York and New Jersey, that we have not gotten an explanation as to who and what these drones are. It really is a breakdown of transparency, trusted communications, and answers. There are two possible theories, none of which are good in my mind, is the fact that our government truly do not know what these drones are up there for. That is alarming. But the other possibility is the fact that the government does know and is not sharing transparency and facts with the community.
I want people to think about what Tony Hwang has just said. He's absolutely right. There are two possible scenarios out there that the government genuinely have no idea at all who is behind these drones or UAPs in the skies, okay, above the east coast of America, or they do. And either one of those scenarios is frightening. If they don't genuinely know who or what is in control of these drones, and they are flying around the skies of the east coast of America. And I have heard reports yesterday of this cropping up now in California as well. So this is spreading, across multiple states now in the United States of America. This is deeply concerning if they do not genuinely know who or what is behind these drones. Equally, if they do know and they're not saying anything, then what are the motivations behind these drones or UAPs that are in the sky? What on earth are they doing up there? And we've seen reports on Saturday, multiple reports, of these so-called drones or UAPs in the sky spraying some kind of mist onto the population below. Who or what is doing things like that? And to tell the public out there that there is absolutely no concern when there are multiple videos showing this type of thing online and the government out there is saying nothing, only leads to speculation about what on earth is actually going on. This is incredible. And the fact that the mainstream media and the government in the UK have been virtually silent about this is unbelievable. What on earth is going on in our skies? Let's continue with this video.
So I'm repeating again, for me as a state senator, I'm here to ask for facts and answers on behalf of my constituents and to help our state agencies to be able to inform and empower our local law enforcement to do their job, that is to protect and inform the public.
Does anyone disagree with what this guy is saying? I mean, it's totally understandable why Tony Huang is coming out and making statements like this when, they're getting zero answers from anybody. And this has been going on in our skies for weeks. And these things have been flying, as I said, with impunity in our skies for weeks. What on earth is happening out there, people? What on earth is happening?
And right now, we're not having that. So it's really, really a necessary need for me today to raise that concern. It's been far, far too long. And I want to acknowledge my federal representatives, particularly Senator Blumenthal and Representative Hines, for their efforts on behalf of our community. They have asked the same question as well. And they seem to be getting the same kind of reassurances without facts. But I want to commend them for making that effort on our community's behalf. But I also wanted to add that what I've heard in news releases is the fact that the federal government could possibly be sending drone detection technology to New York and New Jersey. And if that is indeed the case, Connecticut needs to be part of that answer. So for me, we need to be proactive, not reactive, and that requires full transparency, accountability, and an honest conversation to ensure our public safety. People just don't know. And I'm here to ask for answers on their behalf. And I'm happy to take any questions. I want to thank you all for being here.
Well, I mean, does anyone disagree with what Tony Huang, the Connecticut state senator, has just said? I think he's got every right to be asking these questions when there are zero answers coming from federal government, like the FBI, the military or the intelligence community. Some of these sightings have been rubbished by people, but we've had, multiple sightings everywhere, particularly over the east coast of the United States. But at the same time, since November, we've had a plethora of sightings worldwide. We've had them in this country, we've had them in Germany, we've had them in Russia, we've had them in China. These have been seen all over the world. Brazil, Argentina, the list goes on, people. Some people are quite clearly seeing things out there and they are getting zero answers from our governments, our media, who are, you know, who are virtually silent about this, which is also deeply concerning. What on earth is going on? Okay, so we're gonna show you some further videos that I've come across to try and sort of show you people about this developing situation that's going on. It is incredible. It is spreading from state to state, and as I keep repeating, how long do people out there have to wait before suddenly this is in a sky near you, above you, and this kind of thing is going on in your area? Okay, because it's spreading from state to state. Okay, this is what is going on out there, people. So let's look at another article, another broadcast that was published today. Okay, this is from Fox. Okay, again talking about what is going on in the east coast of America. But you know, as I've said, I've already heard reports of it now taking place in California as well. Okay, so you know, this is not just in the tri-state area anymore. This is across multiple states. So let's play this video.
You can hear me. Look, Brett, somebody knows who's putting up these drones. Why are we not being told? Because somebody knows somewhere, don't they?
You would think so, but the fact is, I think we've learned from all this, Stuart, that we're no longer in control of our own airspace. And look, it's a foreign concept to think our government doesn't really know what's going on because we are such a powerful country. But
I want people to think about that. That I'm not saying that this is 100% fact, but it is a possibility that the authorities may no longer be in control of their own airspace. That is a possibility, which is an absolute frightening possibility. The speculation that it could be a foreign adversary, which of course is a frightening possibility, or it could be some non-human entity that is doing this. That is not off the table now. Or it could be a human entity with very nefarious reasons of doing this, that are some hidden entity somewhere that are doing this. But you know, somebody is doing this for a reason, and this is going on night after night across multiple states now in America. This is just incredible that this is going on, and our governments in the UK and our media have virtually been silent. It's unbelievable, people, that this is actually what is going on. And again, as we talked about in the other broadcast, let's not forget the predictions that came out via Cliff High, from his linguistic software. And these predictions, may I add, as I've mentioned in a previous video, these predictions by this linguistic software were actually made in 2009, and it talked about a key marker event, which was the interview between Donald Trump and Joe Rogan. And 39 days after that interview, according to these predictions, the hidden science was supposed to be coming to the visible, that people would start seeing the hidden science. It talked about crafts in our skies. It talked about battles in our skies between, human craft and non-human technology. This is what it talked about. And since the 39 days after that event was December the 3rd, all this stuff has been going on. There is no denying that there are all these drones in the sky. And I am not saying that prediction is what's going on. But, because of the lack of information by the authorities, this is what people are speculating about, should I say, online. These are one of the things that people are talking about. It is incredible that this has been going on for this length of time, and we have zero answers from the authorities. Whatever way anyone looks at that, it is deeply, deeply concerning, and that this situation is not calming down. It is escalating, people. I want people to think about what is going on.
I'm sorry to tell you, the truth is they really don't know, because we no longer dominate the world in counter drone technology. We used to own the drone market globally, and that's why we need to put more money into this. And I know it's surprising for your viewers, but we don't really focus a lot of our counter drone detection in the US. We focus it overseas. That's where a lot of the money is going. The technology exists to track this, but the reason the US government doesn't have answers for you is because...
So as you can see, people, that this is another story that's been published today by Fox, talking about what is going on in our skies. And as I said, the UK media has been largely silent about this, but we're now finally, even in the UK media, we're finally having one outlet talking about it, which is Talk TV. And this was 9 hours ago. So this is, again, something that's published today. So we do have some elements of media in the UK, but I would hardly call Talk TV the mainstream media. The BBC, ITV, all those kind of platforms, they seem to be silent about what is going on in America. And you've got to start asking yourself, A, what is going on, and why is there a blanket silence around what is going on, with none of the authorities providing any answers to questions that people rightly have. Okay, so let's just see what Talk TV I've got to say about the developing situation that's going on over in America.
Dr. Melanie Garson is here, Associate Professor of Political Science at UCL. There was a press conference yesterday. Congressman Chris Smith said this.
Like National Security Spokesman Admiral John Kirby say, we know there's no threat. How do they know that? What aren't they revealing? Or are they just saying it? How can anyone speculate or issue assurances to thousands, millions of Americans who have witnessed, thousands who have witnessed the drones, that there is no threat? For weeks, we've asked for the truth.
It's an amazing story, this, isn't it?
I want people to think about what this guy is saying. This has been going on for weeks, and there has been a blanket silence by the authorities. What on earth is happening, people? Because there is something quite clearly going on that we are either not being told about on purpose, okay, or they genuinely do not have the answers. And either of those options is absolutely frightening, that this is the 16th of December 2024 and this is where we are. This is unbelievable, people, what is going on out there. Let's continue with what Talk TV I've got to say about this developing and escalating situation that seems to be going from bad to worse on a daily basis.
Dr. Melanie, I can't quite get my head around it. I mean, it surely can't be beyond the wit of the American government to work out where these drones are coming from, and yet nobody seems to know what to do about it.
Good morning, and it's certainly interesting, and it's interesting if you look at it on the band of a wave of actual drone sightings we've seen over the last few weeks, including here in the UK, in Germany, and now over 6 states of the US over multiple times.
As we told you, it's happened in the UK, Germany, and now over 6 states in the UK. Okay, this is not an isolated incident, people. This is going on all over the place. And as I've said on multiple occasions when we've done these emergency broadcasts, people are going to have to come into the terms, going to have to try and come to terms with, should I say, that the possibility of this coming to a sky near you is not beyond the realms of fantasy. You know, this is what is going on, people, and this could, I'm not saying it will, but this could be coming to a sky near you. And if you think that people are meant to sit here and not be concerned about these objects flying around our skies with impunity, doing God knows what, this is just incredible that this is the turn of events that we have got to at the end of 2024. This is absolutely incredible, people. Incredible.
Although there was a statement made by Jim Hines yesterday that said that it's apparently not Iranians, not Chinese, nor is alien activity. So I'm not sure that gives the measure of reassurances, but certainly there are ways to detect the drones, but without capturing them, taking them down, which without a doubt the US authorities at a certain level have the authority to do. There would be no...
And we showed you, just to go on from what this lady's saying here, we showed you on Saturday of a drone, images, a video on Saturday of a drone that allegedly had been downed in the middle of this sort of dual carriageway or motorway, which looked like a conventional military style drone. that the FBI went to retrieve, but we have reports saying that the FBI have retrieved nothing. I mean, what on earth is going on? What on earth is going on, people? This is just incredible that there is absolutely zero information, and the idea that if they have captured one of these downed drones and they have downed one of these so-called drones or UAPs or whatever they are, and they've not examined that, and they don't now have at least some information of who or what is behind these things, and they're not giving the public anything. This is just unbelievable that this is where we're at.
A way to be able to evidence actually the source of the drones.
No, but I mean, people keep saying to me, surely they could just either capture one or shoot one down and look inside it and, figure out where it's come from. It seems to me that, if this is the height of America's kind of, capability with regard to defence of the realm, if you like, it's not very encouraging, is it?
Well, they technically can do it. I think what it's highlighted is a gap on who can do it. So local law enforcement actually don't have some of these capabilities to be able to do it. So there's opening up a massive gap on what does local law enforcement able to do. And shooting down drones always carries a risk that a piece of flying debris is going to hit someone. So it's not as actually to do it. There are other mechanisms next.
And we've seen as well, while she's talking about that, we've seen on that video that we showed you on Saturday, we have had incidences because of the complete lack of information where people are going out there and taking the law into their own hands and shooting at these things. This is absolute insanity, people. And I urge anybody that's over in America, do not do that. Do not start firing objects in the sky, because the consequences could be absolutely disastrous, because nobody knows at this stage, A, what they are, what they have up there, okay? And if nothing else, if you do hit one of these objects and they come down and they're the size of a vehicle, an SUV or something, do you not think that is going to cause absolute carnage below? And also, shooting at these things is so stupid, and do not do this, because whatever goes up must come down. And if you're shooting at these things and not even hitting them, what do you think's going to happen? The bullets are going to come down somewhere. This could cause absolute carnage. Do not do things like this. But the fact that the government have said nothing it was only a matter of time in a country like America, where people have the right to bear arms, that someone was going to take the law into their own hands. The authorities need to come out and provide the public, not just in America, but the world public, information about what on earth is happening out there in our skies. These things have been flying around in our skies, whether they're UAPs, whether they're drones, whether they're human tech, secret human tech, or non-human tech, whatever it is, because nobody knows, they are flying around our skies with impunity, people. But don't worry, because the government says there's absolutely zero to worry about. This is absolutely frightening and incredible. This is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen that's happened. And it's just unbelievable that there has been such a lack of information about what on earth is going on, and it is only leading to speculation and all sorts of wild theories out there that are developing because the government are providing absolutely no answers. This is just insanity what is going on.
Capture, interfering by the radar, jamming, and each of those have their risk. I think what's been highlighted here is who has the power and authority to do it, and local law enforcement authorities need to have an upgrade to deal with what is 21st century technology risks.
Yeah. And what do you think it is? I mean, just off the cuff, what's your best guess?
Well, there's, they changed the laws last year in the US that you can start to fly commercial drones at night. There are, we see them all the time. People's weddings and whatnot now have drones in the air.
But even if some people, are flying commercial drones at night, the idea that there are a small number of people that are flying commercial drones that somehow have coordinated all together, that have drones flying in formations together all over the States. I think that's a bit far-fetched, and because the authorities have said nothing, I'm sure there are now people out there that are flying drones at night just to try and provoke things because of the complete lack of information from the authorities. This is absolute madness what is going on. Absolute madness, people.
There's about 800,000 registered drones in the US, so commercial, but still there's sort of lots of things can still be mistaken for them. It can still be low-flying aircraft. Even satellites and stars can appear to look like drones, although the amount of them seems to be
an awful lot of them, and I mean, we saw...
And I'm sure some of the reports, some of the sightings, I'm sure turn out to be conventional aircraft, helicopters, etc. But the amount of footage now that is out there showing UAPs or drones that are clearly flying around our skies in formations, doing God knows what, reconnaissance, surveillance, who knows what they're doing up there? And the government are providing zero answers, okay? And that is something that cannot be denied. There is far too much evidence out there to show that there are things flying around our skies with total and utter impunity. And how long is it? How long is it before this comes to a sky near you very soon?
A guy from the News Nation there, you can just see him in the background there, describing what he saw as what looked like sort of fixed wing aircraft about 8 feet across. He's not describing, a spaceship. He's describing something quite specific, isn't he?
Exactly, and it's still. I think the.
And at the same time, as they're talking about what's been seen here, look clearly like man-made drones. Okay, we have seen things as well that don't look like drones, that are moving in ways that seem to defy the laws of physics. What on earth is going on out there? It is unbelievable, people, that all this is going on at the same time, and it seems to be coordinated, and nobody is providing any answers whatsoever. This is just unbelievable that this is where we are,
oddness in this is the lack of clarity. There are ways of identifying it, and the federal government hasn't. They've said it's not a threat, but they've not clearly stated what it is, which is challenging. And they can be anything, but we do live in a world now where we've got increased use of drones, from everything from precision farming to photography events to inspections to search and rescue. So this is something we're going to have to not just the US, all authorities are going to have to get a grip on.
No, I get that. But it doesn't seem very normal for it to happen at night, where you can't really see an awful lot from up there. I mean, I guess they might have infrared or something going on. I'm just really puzzled as to why American, officials and American government, whether it's local or national, doesn't seem capable of working out what it is. It just seems really weird to me.
Really weird, yes, but also deeply, deeply concerning that this has been going on, as we've said, for weeks, and there is zero answers to what is going on, which is leading, as I've said, to all sorts of speculation out there on the internet, because people are going to speculate when they are getting zero answers. And some of the things that are being speculated out there is frightening people. Let's have a look here on Forbes. This is breaking news from 2 hours ago. Okay, let's have a look at this.
Hi everyone, I'm Maggie McGrath with Forbes Breaking News. Mysterious drones have been spotted over New York and New Jersey, and on Friday, Governor Kathy Hochul even closed the airspace over Stewart International Airport for 1 hour due to drone activity in the airspace.
So, as we've pointed out, these drones have been flying with impunity, as we've said, over military installations in the UK and in America, and now also over commercial airports too, closing this airport down, as this lady is explaining. This is what is going on, people. And the government providing people with zero answers, as I said, is leading to all sorts of speculation online to what on earth is going on out there.
Some are questioning whether these drones are foreign interference. Joining us to answer that question and so many more is Gordon Chang. He wrote the book, The Coming Collapse of China, and his most recent work is Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America. Gordon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maggie.
So let's just zoom out, because drones are often used recreationally. What makes the drones that we're seeing over New York and New Jersey different than drones that you might see at a tourist location like the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, some of these drones are large. They've been compared to SUVs, for instance. They have flashing lights. They move in erratic ways, which a hobbyist probably would not be able to accomplish. So the general feeling is that these are drones.
As this gentleman is saying here, okay, Gordon Chang, it's highly unlikely that these are hobbyist dronists, okay? Are we led to believe that there are a number of hobbyist dronists that have got out there that are flying these drones in formations over military bases and really restricted airspace, and they're completely able to outwit the most powerful military in the world, the biggest government in the world, etc. The federal government, the FBI, the intelligence communities, and these people are basically outwitting all this. Is that what we're led to believe? This is absolute insanity. That to me has been put out there by people. Just absolute crazy idea.
Drones which are not from your general run-of-the-mill hobbyist. There's something more.
They are something more. And do we know where they're taking off from? I mean, what's the range of one of these drones?
We don't know the answers to those questions. Some of the drones have been observed coming over the Atlantic Ocean. Others have just been hovering around inland areas. So there's, I guess the answer is all of the above in terms of where they're coming from.
And also, as what was pointed out in that video we showed the other day, I think it was on Casperlight, yeah? If these drones had been flying for hours and hours with total impunity, the batteries, okay, in these drones don't actually last anything like that long. So where on earth are these things getting their power from? Because if there were batteries like that out there that could last that long for such large objects, do you not think that, these are some of these are the size of SUVs and school buses? Do you not think people like Elon Musk would be all over that technology? Yeah, think about this, people. What on earth is going on out there? Our skies are not, quite clearly, not safe, because we have these things that are flying around with impunity and have been for weeks and weeks and weeks. This is where we are at the end of 2024, people.
As to their range, that we can only speculate.
We can only speculate. Now, officials have a variety of explanations. I saw some officials associated with the government saying, oh, these are manned aircrafts that are taking off and landing. We had another statement over the weekend saying that this is due to a change in FAA policy regarding manned aircrafts and takeoff times. What do you make of the official statements we've received from the FBI, from the White House, from our nation's officials?
The statements leave a lot to be desired, and they're not entirely consistent with one another, which you'd expect in a fast-moving situation. But clearly, the American people are not buying it. And as we look at those statements, some of them look carefully crafted. And so at this point, we really need the President of the United States to actually address the American people and tell us what the federal government knows and what it doesn't know. And I
think that is perfectly reasonable thing for Gordon Chang to be saying. I mean, why are there no answers? Why are there no answers? What is going on, people? And there needs to be some serious answers provided by the American government, the federal government and the military, because as I said, All sorts of speculation is flying around out there on the internet, and some of the prospects that obviously can't be ruled off the table are absolutely frightening. For example, look at this one, okay? This is a video that's been put out about this situation 22 hours ago. Again, the link will be left in the description of this live stream. And this is an absolutely frightening scenario, okay? Let's just play this video.
What's this?
What is what? He asked you a question. What is that?
We come in peace. We come in peace. We come.
He says it is a government psyop and we should destroy it.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. We have been reporting on the drones hovering over New Jersey for weeks now. We've brought you all the physical evidence and the videos, and we've surfaced every theory that we thought was viable about what these drones are doing and why. Ladies and gentlemen, our concern has been turned into worry and actual fear now. And the reason for that is twofold. One, all of the professional liars inside of our government establishment and bureaucracy are now acknowledging that these drones are here, that they are operating them, and that they're doing it for your safety. Everyone from Alejandro Mayorkas to the Pentagon to now CIA spooks are coming out saying that it's a classified exercise. Ladies and gentlemen, former CIA officers don't go on Fox News and give.
And obviously, these are, theories of what are going on and speculations, okay? But if that was to be true, and it was some classified exercise, what on earth are these people doing? What on earth is the purpose of this exercise? This is absolutely frightening. The possibility of what could actually be going on.
If unauthorized opinions like this, she's being told to go out and say that the U.S. is testing detection technology. Oh, okay, got it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a CEO of a military drone manufacturer here in America, in Wichita, Kansas, where an enormous amount of the aerospace engineering goes on in this country, has broken his silence. He's the CEO of Saxon Aerospace. His name is John Ferguson. And he's up with a video that he recorded explaining exactly what he believes is happening on the eastern seaboard and what these drones are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan have shared this video, and it is horrifying what the man tells us. And we've checked, this guy is real. He's not faking his identity or what he does for a living. He does manufacture drones. He does sell them to the United States military. He is an expert on this subject. Joe Rogan saying, this is the first video about drones that got me genuinely concerned. Alex Jones saying, I confirm.
This video, okay, what this gentleman's about to say is absolutely frightening. This scenario, people, is absolutely frightening. And the idea that this could be a possibility, and as I repeat, it could be because the governments have been completely silent about what is going on, which, as we've said, is only leading to speculation. But this seems to be a very credible source. And what is being said in this is absolutely frightening. Let's just continue.
With my sources that this is indeed the purpose and the reason these drones are swarming the New Jersey and New York area. There's a lot more to it. I'm headed to the office report released today. All right, so what does this man say? Let's take him at his word, and let's go.
Hey, everyone. My name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, But I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay? We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that came up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, you mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature. Because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my guess, my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So, my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multi-copter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, but I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, we build professional stuff for the military. I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to let people know that this is a serious deal. It's only serious for what the potential could be, or for what the potential is. There's a lot of them out there. They're flying all over. They're flying low. They're flying at night. There's no reason for it other than to smell something. So anyway, God bless. I hope you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and let me know what you think of the video. Thank you.
Wow, people. Wow. Obviously that gentleman is a professional that works in that industry, supplying drones to the military. Obviously, he was just giving his personal opinion about what could be going on, but some of the things that gentleman said in that video that went out on TikTok are absolutely frightening, that could be a possibility. This is unbelievable, and speculation like this is only bound to gain momentum online because of the complete lack of information that's been provided by the government. This is unbelievable that we've not even seen the military in the skies attempting to deal with these drones or UAPs if they genuinely don't know what they are. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. So, as I said, all the links to what we're watching together online in this stream, I will leave in the description of this stream. So, you can go and look at all this yourself in your own time and be quite sure that, obviously we are just genuinely showing you what is going on online, and we are not making any of this stuff up. This is just absolutely incredible, people. So here we've got another US military whistleblower exposing New Jersey drone dark truth. Okay, so let's have a look at this video, okay, which again is speculation that is gathering online, and again we'll leave the link to the video in this description.
It sure seems like it's the Wild West. We'll have more questions than answers on the mysterious drone sightings. Now, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the federal government is starting to assist New Jersey in the investigation. Watch.
I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. We need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
That only took about a month. Dr. Rebecca Grant is a national security and military analyst and an international relations expert, and she joins me now. Dr. Grant, great to see you. Who's in charge of drones right now? Because it sure seems like it's the Wild West out there.
Well, the hard truth, Todd, is that we don't defend the interior of our country against threats on the inside. So no one is in charge of anti-drone monitoring in the U.S. You know, it ought to be Northern Command, which defends all our borders against the Russians and the Chinese bombers up around Alaska. But they really don't have these authorities. It's illegal, actually, to shoot down a drone or any manned aircraft as well. And, you know, we're just in a new world. We need this to be a top priority, and we need to really expand the authority for monitoring and, if necessary, for interception.
I mean, I often show my naivete on this show because I think a lot of the confusion, at least that I have and a lot of the American people has, is because I think we all assume that if it was on or over American airspace, that our military was on it 24/7, that anything flying over was going to be shot down instantaneously, no questions asked, we are safe. And then
you know, just what this guy is talking about right now, about the airspace, you would presume that the airspace above them would be safe and the military would be in the sky taking these things out. We have not seen any military in the skies above New Jersey or the 5 to 6 other states now that are having these drone sightings, or UAP sightings or whatever they may be, because nobody knows. Is incredible, absolutely incredible, and we're still all completely in the dark about what is going on. But at this, you know, we're told, don't worry out there. There's nothing at all to be concerned about. This is just absolutely unbelievable, people, unbelievable.
We saw with the hot air balloon there from China, and now this. That sense of security is definitely pierced, if you will. So, Dr. Grant, are we secure here in the homeland?
Well, that's exactly right. We are secure against threats coming from the outside. You know, if it's a airliner coming in from Europe, we watch and track that very closely. We built a big continental air defense back in the Cold War, and we do have military forces on alert and a big air defense sector, but they look for threats from outside the borders. So what we see now is, you know,
at the very least, if the authorities genuinely do not know who or what is in charge of these drones or UAPs and what their motives are, at the very, very least, this is a massive, massive exposure of security, at the very least. And the fact that the authorities have left people with no answers for weeks is unbelievable, people. What is going on? People need answers to what on earth is going on out there. These things, as we keep saying, are flying around our skies with total impunity. No one is providing any answers to who or what is responsible for this and what their motives are. Unbelievable, people. But don't be concerned, yeah? This is absolutely crazy that this is the situation.
A lot of these drones aren't a problem, but some of them look like they could be. And we need an ability to monitor. So Secretary Mayorkas is talking about enhancing capabilities. That probably means sending up a KU or X-band radar with a 360-degree detect. but it's sort of for low and slow flying things around a short area. You know, we don't have blanket coverage of our U.S. airspace and full protection. We protect a few critical things and our borders, and right now that's it. And with this drone situation, it's just not good enough anymore.
And if these are, say, for example, foreign adversaries and are on some kind of reconnaissance mission or some kind of spying mission, are people not supposed to be concerned about that if that is one of the potential possibilities? This is just unbelievable that the authorities are just saying absolutely nothing. I mean, what do Arno TV viewers think about this? What do you think out there? Anybody who's watching this stream, do you think we shouldn't be concerned? I mean, this is crazy, absolutely crazy.
Jesus H. Christ. Well, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked footlocker. You know that, don't you? Sir, yes, sir. Holy Jesus. What is that?
I mean, I'm not going to play this whole, this whole video. I'm going to obviously leave the link in the description for you. But I mean, there is a massive hole in securities that has been exposed at the very least by all of this. I mean, I've got also some live cam on here. This is in Seaside Park, New Jersey drone walk, so this is live at the moment, but obviously these things are mainly coming out at night, and at the moment, they're 4 hours behind us still. So let's just have a look. I had this on pause a while back. Let me just see if I can now take it to an actual live shot. See where we're at with this. Just go back there. Let's just go back to the so now obviously it's now getting dark over there. So obviously we'll keep an eye on this through this stream, see if anything comes up. We'll also have a look as well to see if there are any further live things that we can watch on what is going on out there. But we've shown you Casper Light's channel a few times on these live streams, and this is a good channel, so obviously make sure you give this guy a like and a subscribe like anybody else will show you. The links will be there. But we've even got Nick Pope weighing in on this now. Now, for anybody out there that doesn't know who Nick Pope is, Nick Pope was our government's UFO guy for years. So this is somebody who is in the field, okay, who is now been now come out and giving interviews, and it's great to see Casper Lights managed to get Nick Pope on here. We'll play you a little bit of this, and again, I'll leave the link in the description in the for the stream, so you can watch these 4 videos later yourself. I'm not going to watch the whole video, but it's very interesting that people like Nick Pope are now giving commentary, which is more than what any of the governments are doing. This is incredible that this is where we are.
Yesterday, I had the honour and privilege to have a conversation with Nick Pope, aka the real Fox Mulder. Nick Pope worked for the UK MOD for 21 years, and in between 1991 and 1994, his job was to investigate the UFO phenomena. So in the conversation that we had...
So he worked between, Nick Pope, our the government's UFO guy, said worked between 91 and 94, did it say? So maybe I was wrong in thinking decades, but he worked for our government, okay, and was our government's UFO guy, basically, who's now, obviously coming out and giving commentary on what is going on with this situation over in multiple states in America with drones or so-called UAPs that no one is, come out and told anybody what is going on. So it's very interesting to listen to what he's got to say about this.
We spoke about the New Jersey drone situation. We spoke about alien technology. We spoke about the implications of ET and human race. We also talk about the UK version of the Roswell incident, the Rendlesham Forest incident, which happened in 1980, and also the famous Cosford incident that happened in 1993. That and more. Be sure to check out all of Nick Pope's social media links below, and also 2 books, which is the Randlestrom Forest Incident and also Blood Brothers, his most recent book, plus his brand new movie, which has just been released on Amazon Prime, Apocalypse COVID. Be sure to check those out. If you're into aliens, UAPs, ghosts, paranormal, things like that, the strange, weird, and wonderful, make sure you subscribe, because this is what we cover on this channel. Enjoy the conversation. Well, Nick Pope, it is absolute pleasure and honor to have you on here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. We're going to get into a whole bunch of questions. I mean, obviously, the big news at the moment is the New Jersey drone situation, which I do want to talk about. But I think it would be an insult to not talk about your history. Could you just basically give us an overview for the viewers of what you did, a bit about history?
So just listen to, obviously, who Nick Pope is. And what his history is and his relevance on the commentary that he is giving now, okay, about this developing situation.
Sure. Well, I was a civilian employee at the UK Ministry of Defence. I worked there for 21 years, had a number of different postings at progressively higher grade as my career progressed. But the one that I'm best known for is the one that I had from 91 to 94. And essentially, it's colloquially known as the UFO desk, but sometimes UFO program, UFO project. The technical name is Secretariat Air Staff 2 Alpha. But because that does, yeah, exactly. Typical civil servant kind of, bureaucrat speak. So obviously that's meaningless to just about everyone, even some people in the system, let alone out. Hence this kind of does what it says on the tin, UFO program, project, desk, whatever. And the job was basically to be the subject matter expert on the topic, to handle policy when defense ministers wanted advice on it, and of course the bread and butter of the job, doing the investigations, but also handling public correspondence, handling parliamentary business, handling media liaison. That was through the press office, but obviously a lot of media interest in this topic. The subject matter expert has to write the lines to take and the key messages. So a whole bunch of different things.
So how did you actually come about getting that job opportunity?
Quite by accident, really. Right place, right time. The vacancy was just about to open up. I was due for a move. I had worked with the particular manager before during the first Gulf War. People with high security clearances found themselves seconded into the Joint Operations Center to handle the kind of, the duties that we did down there. And I worked quite well with this particular individual. He was the one who had the vacancy. He knew I was looking for a move. And it was just, well, why don't you do a sideways move from one part of the department where I had been into the other part in which the UFO duties were embedded.
So did you, when you heard about this opportunity, because it is quite extreme, isn't it? I mean, you must have been quite excited and nervous at the same time, right?
But yeah, and I had mixed feelings, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was quite keen to get out of the particular area that I had been in, which was dealing with a lot of things like parliamentary aspects of military aircraft accidents, but also a lot of visit briefs for senior personnel, that sort of thing. And I'd done that for around about a year, and frankly, I had another year or two to go, but I was looking to get out of it and wanted a fresh challenge. This came up, but I had mixed feelings, to be honest, because part of me, look, every young, ambitious junior manager wanted to get those jobs in the Secretary of State's office. So those sorts of private office jobs. And UFOs, yeah, it sounded very interesting, but a little bit quirky. So
Yeah.
at the back of my mind, I was thinking, is this necessarily best in terms of long-term career aspirations? So I wasn't sure about that one, but when it came up, because I'd worked with this particular manager, I felt that, once the offer had been made, you couldn't really step back from that. And so I did it. I did it for 3 years, and it changed my life, and it was fascinating. And as it happened, I did get a promotion at the end of that. So kind of that was the concern. You were always trying to get up to the next grade.
Yeah. So what was the, so head of UFO department, what is your average?
That kind of gives you an introduction, okay, of who Nick Pope actually is. So we now know who he was. Let's just try and get to the bit on here where they're speaking about the current drone situation, okay? So he can give you some commentary on what he thinks is going on.
And it's a really interesting question, and not many people think to ask it, and I'm glad you did, because there is a huge problem with all these talks about UFO hotspots. In fact, there's two problems.
Okay.
Firstly, nobody or very few people, when they're doing these sorts of maps or league tables, is taken with the forward-looking infrared cameras mounted on F-18 fighter jets.
I think he's just talking about
until the point that we could explain them away, which with many of them we couldn't. So I think it was a mistake. There are also rumors that effectively the United States kind of took control of the UK program.
Yeah, so
and
he's
now
basically talking about the history of ufology there. So let's just try and get on to where they're talking about the current situation and his take on it.
No, do you think it's a scare tactic? Do you think it could be the government doing this themselves? Are they the government drones?
Well, that's one theory, that some of this is sort of secret black project technology, and that obviously one thing you would want to test is not only how well does this fly, but what is the public reaction going to be? What is maybe the military or law enforcement reaction going to be? So you do have this concept of a blind test, where one part of the military tests something and doesn't tell other parts of the military or other parts of the federal or local government, precisely because they want to see how people will react under real life conditions. Whereas if you tell them in advance what's going on, you never get anything other than an artificial reaction, because everyone's like, okay, people, the test's starting in 10 minutes. Be ready. Keep an eye on your radar screens. That sort of thing. So that's a possibility. But
sorry, Nick, but you actually think that is a possibility, that the government could do such a thing as that, to test a population? Because I think, like I say, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the whole of America. It's a huge thing to do, to test.
It is, but you want a test. A really good test is under the most real life conditions that you can find, and what could be more real life. But before I go further with that thought, I should say I don't think we're going to find that there's one explanation that fits all these sightings. What I think is that we've got lots of different things going on, and of course that adds to the confusion. I think there are at least 3-4 different things. Number one, some of this is hobbyist drones. I mean, I've heard the reports about the bigger ones, the ones that seem to stay up longer, but clearly some of it is just hobbyist drones, and some of it is it's almost getting farcical. So, for example, yesterday I saw some footage on social media of a news organization sending up drones with cameras on to try and find other drones. Well, guess what? People are going to see those.
They're here.
So some of these are just going to be hobbyist drones, commercial drones, fairly standard stuff.
But I think that with all due respect, it's sort of I think people know what a drone is that you can buy from Argos than a drone which is the size of a small car. They're reporting. I think they can distinguish the two, right?
You can if it was on the ground, and you can if it's maybe 10, 20 feet up in the air. But if you're viewing it from half a mile away and all you're seeing is a flashing light, then no, you probably wouldn't be able to differentiate them. But just to round out that list, yeah, some of this is hobbyist drones and commercial drones. Some of it may be secret prototype devices of some sort, as we discussed, the idea of a blind test. Some of it might be kind of similar stuff, but effectively operated by an adversary. There has been talk of Iran operating drones. I think it's more likely that that's with Chinese technology, but again, adversary drones is a third theory. A fourth theory is, I guess, UAP, UFO, whatever you want to call it. And a fifth, which kind of plays into all of this, is that just some of this is frankly mass hysteria, and that people are so caught up with this now from the constant 24/7 drumbeat of alarmist news media coverage that any kind of strange light that people see in the sky suddenly becomes, in some people's mind's eye, one of these mystery drones.
So there you heard Nick Pope, okay, giving his explanation of some of the possible scenarios that could be occurring. And as he said, it could be a mixture of a few different things that are happening. But some of these scenarios that people like Nick Pope are giving you the examples of that he just spoke about are truly frightening. And, you know, these scenarios are only going to be speculated on further with the lack of information that is just not being provided by the government. It's absolutely incredible that there still is all this speculation. Obviously, I'm not going to leave you watch the whole video of this on Casper Light's channel. As I said, I'll leave the link in the description so you can watch this yourself later. But I assure you, anyone who watched my live stream the other day and the video on the other day when we first started talking about this subject that thought that this was some kind of a wind-up, I can assure you people, I am not winding you up. This is what is going on, and it is deeply, deeply concerning that when we've seen footage, as we've said before, of people capturing footage of these so-called drones or UAPs or whatever they are, because nobody quite knows, spraying some kind of a mist into the skies, and the population below should be, not concerned about this at all, and it's no threat to national security. I mean, this is just unbelievable. So let's just have a look at what the next video is that I'd been watching earlier that I was going to share with you guys. So again, this is more, this is a state of emergency that's been called in New Jersey over these mysterious drone sightings. And here's some more footage of some of these, meetings that are going on, that are demanding answers.
I don't know that to be the case, and I couldn't really comment on that.
Okay, well...
And this guy, this Mr. Wheeler, Wheeler, should I say, this is the guy that, as I told you, the FBI had come out, in the last few days and said that they had no idea what was occurring. Well, this is their representative, Mr. Wheeler, okay?
Public safety applications that are being tested, they need to coordinate with the local authorities. So my guys in New York, NYPD, they know that it's not a threat.
I would agree.
All right, thank you.
Gentlelady yields. This will be the last questioning for the first panel. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Smith.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Chairman, both of you, for allowing me to sit in on this hearing. I've been in Congress 44 years, and I have lost track of the number of times when we seemingly did not adequately assess a threat. I had one of my service members from the Marines in the barracks in Lebanon when that terrible, horrible deed was committed by Iran. I actually, after we got hit in Dar es Salaam and in Nairobi in 1998 by Al Qaeda, I chaired all the hearings. We had the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff come and testify as Admiral Crow, and they kept saying, everyone, no one thought that Al Qaeda would hit there. Maybe in the Middle East, but not there. I wrote a bill called the Embassy Security Act. It was signed into law. I added it to an appropriations bill, big, thick bill, but it was all about setbacks and Mylar on the windows, a lot of good things. And it did mitigate, I think, some of the concerns there. But we always seem to miss something, and I'm very concerned that we're missing something here. I've raised the issue, as has my colleagues, Maliotakis and others in New Jersey and New York, about these drone sightings. So last night, I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it.
You hear that, people? You hear that, people? One of the officers that's working with these officials that are now demanding answers have seen 50 drones coming in off the ocean towards New Jersey. And people are not supposed to be concerned about this. This is what is going on out there, people. This is, you know, obviously, when was this published? This is obviously live. I paused it. So this is obviously being broadcast live now on the internet. Okay? This is what's going on out there, people. This is the situation that the governments have been completely silent about for weeks, and people are still not getting answers. This is absolutely, absolutely unbelievable that there has been no answers provided at all by anybody.
You've put out press releases to identify and bring down drones. Why can't you deploy them at least to the ocean? Bring one of these down, find out who's doing it. They have the capability. They said, we don't have the authority, only within the parameters of our base. Well, there's a national interest here. Our jets fly over the ocean all the time for training, so that perimeter is larger. So I did write Secretary Lloyd Austin asking that capability that may be sitting in a closet somewhere, I know they use it all the time, but you know, bring it out. And I'm not saying you got to share it with the sheriffs. It'd be nice. Just do it yourself. The interest of the American public. So I would ask if you would echo that request. I mean, DOD's got the capability, or maybe Homeland Security does as well. When we had a Zoom meeting with Secretary Mayorkas, our governor put it together, and I appreciated that. But I asked them, why can't we just track where...
I mean, you know, why have these agencies, these agencies like the Homeland Security Agency and the FBI and whatnot, why are these agencies unable to speak to each other, find out if anyone actually knows anything, and if you know what we were led to believe is true, that nobody knows nothing? Why on earth are the military not in the skies attempting to do something about these UAPs or drones if they genuinely do not know who or what is behind these? And what the motives are for these things being up in our skies, which are flying around and have been for weeks with impunity. And as I keep saying, how long is it going to be before people start worrying out there that this could be coming to a sky near you very, very soon? And the idea that people should not be concerned about that is laughable. Of course people are going to be concerned, and the longer you people do not provide the public with any kind of answers, the more speculation is going to grow, the more likely it is that there are people out there that are going to do stupid things like take the law into their own hands, as we've already shown in previous videos that we've all watched together. Okay, this is the situation that this lack of information is creating, and all it is doing is causing, you know, it has the potential, should I say, to cause mass panic. You know, this is absolutely unbelievable that no one at all has come out and made any commentary in any kind of official capacity. Absolutely unbelievable. So we'll leave this live stream for you in the link as well, which we've already done. Look, even more footage now from GB News So as I said, we're finally, in the last few hours, this one was 4 hours ago, starting to get coverage of this in the UK media. But of course, the mainstream media, Sly News and the BBC and ITV and all these type of people, they're all pretty much silent about it. What a surprise. What a surprise, people, but nothing to be concerned about, nothing to see here.
We have no idea what it is.
Hello, I'm Patrick Christys, and we are diving into a story that has been captivating New Jersey and indeed the entire nation, if not the world. Strange objects in the sky, described as drones, orbs, unidentified flying objects, have been spotted right across the Garden State, leaving residents and officials baffled and demanding answers. The latest twist in this remarkable mystery comes from an ABC 7 news crew who over the weekend captured footage of what they describe as a strange white orb floating in the sky over Mendham Township. The crew, who were in the area reporting on the recent spate of suspicious drone sightings, well, they found themselves face to face with the very phenomenon that they were covering. Let's have a little look at the footage.
And Bill and Sandra, you know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to
look at this, people.
Like
look at this, people. I mean, as sort of Nick Pope said, you know, the likelihood that some of this stuff is man-made stuff is I'm quite prepared to accept. Okay, but when we see footage like this appears to be something very different. Okay, so you know, people are not imagining this, and this footage is out there, and there's lots of footage like this that we've shown you. So I'm not doubting that some of these things that are in the sky are man-made. I'm sure they are. But then, on the other hand, we're seeing footage like this, people. What on earth is going on in our skies?
Crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people.
What do Arno TV viewers think about this? Leave some commentary out there, people. Tell me what you think is going on and what you make of footage like this. I'm keen to hear from people on what they actually think is going on. You know, it's just incredible that you know, these are the kind of images that are coming through with this developing situation, which seems to be, you know, growing on a day-by-day basis and spreading to more places.
Looking up and making those recordings, because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
As you can see, this object defies easy explanation. There's nothing obvious that this thing is. It doesn't seem to resemble any conventional aircraft or drone that we're familiar with. The news crew's bewilderment is palpable, with the reporter admitting that they have no idea what it is. And this incident underscores why New Jersey...
But don't be concerned out there, people, if you see things like this, because the government's telling you there's absolutely nothing to worry about, and these things are flying around our skies with total impunity and have been seen flying around very sensitive airspace, including military bases, not only in the UK, but in the States, across multiple states now. This is where we are, people, and what on earth is going on out there?
Officials are urging residents now to send in their own videos and photos. They're hoping that experts can...
And anybody out there, as I said in the emergency broadcast the other night, and this emergency update, I'll say the same thing, that if anybody out there, okay, especially if you're in the UK or you're in the States, captures any of this footage, yeah, send it my way and I will show it on Arno TV, because there is quite clearly something going on out there that cannot be easily explained, which is deeply, deeply, deeply concerning. And as I keep saying, how long is it going to be before this appears in a sky near you? These things are flying around our skies with impunity, people.
Some light on these mysterious objects, but this is far from an isolated incident. For weeks now, residents across New Jersey have been reporting unusual sightings in the night sky. These reports describe everything from bright orbs to triangle-shaped craft, moving in ways that, well, we can't really understand. Non-human technology, as it were. Let's take a look at some of that footage.
And let's not forget, people, let's not forget that all this is happening on the back of the disclosure, on the tails of the disclosure hearings that have happened in Congress in 2023 and 2024, which all started on the back of a fantastic journalist, Ross Coulthard. Why there aren't more journalists out there like Ross Coulthard, who actually are an investigative journalist and are respected by a lot of people that have broken this story. And may I remind people such as David Gresh have given testimony in the American Congress stating that the government, or at least the American government and some other governments, are fully aware that they have non-human technology in their possession, non-human crafts in their possession, and non-human biologics in their possession. This has been stated on the record, people. It is time to realise that the cat is out of the bag and there is something definitely very sinister going on at the moment. And who knows what the actual hell is going on, because there are so many possibilities that out there to what could be going on. It is frightening. And some of these possibilities, which may have been looked at as fantasy a number of years ago, are now not seeming so stupid. This is the situation that we find ourselves in, as I keep saying, at the end of 2024, and today is the 16th of December, and it's currently UK time, 10:25 in the evening. This is where we are live right now.
Would sit in a place and then after a few minutes move left to right, up and down, just these very slow motions, and then they would just go away.
I mean, look at these things. Look, this is what we were talking about the other day, spraying things in the sky, spraying a mist in the sky.
Look how close they are to each other.
Would you not be concerned if these things were flying over your property, and your town spraying some kind of mist over you and the population below? Would you not be concerned about this?
The scale of these sightings is absolutely staggering. According to New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, there have been 49 reported sightings on just one single day. That was on Sunday. These objects have been spotted near sensitive locations, and this is really where it steps up.
As we keep telling you, over military bases.
Over military installations, even near President-elect Donald Trump's golf course.
And if these things are a foreign adversary, so let's just say that they were a foreign adversary, as that's one of the scenarios, is it not concerning that the potential of a foreign adversary, is flying drone technology that you have no ability to do anything about over sensitive military locations like bases that store nuclear weapons, etc., like the ones that are the alleged ones that the ones in the UK, should I say, that is alleged where we store some of our nuclear weapons, okay? And this is not concerning. They're flying over the golf course and the private residence of the incoming next president. This is not concerning if it is a foreign adversary, okay? This is ridiculous that people wouldn't be concerned about this. Of course, people are going to be concerned, and speculation is only going to grow with a complete lack of information from the authorities. Unbelievable, people.
Bedminster. What's particularly intriguing is the behaviour there, the way they move. So Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia, great name, who received a briefing from the Department of Homeland Security, described them as being about 6 feet in diameter, operating in some cases without lights, and flying in a coordinated manner. More bizarrely, though, they seem to evade detection by conventional means.
Did you hear this, people? They seem to be able to evade detection by conventional means. And that's not a concern to you. that things potentially are flying around the airspace above you, and there is no conventional way to gain control of these or bring them down out of the skies. This is deeply, deeply concerning, and this situation is getting worse on a daily basis, and the authorities are saying absolutely nothing. Okay, they are saying zero. Okay,
so helicopters, radio signals, quite often radar as well, which is an added level to this. The lack of clear answers from officials has led to, well, a lot of speculation. Some theorise that these are advanced military drones being tested in plain sight. So some people say this is our technology, we have it, we're just seeing it play out before our eyes for whatever reason, a kind of exercise. Others suggest that it's foreign surveillance.
And again, if that is one of the scenarios, that our own governments are carrying out some kind of mass surveillance or whatever test they may be carrying out on the public like this, and providing zero information. This is unbelievable, people. That some of the scenarios that have been speculated on are absolutely frightening. And why has it taken the government so long to still provide zero information? They're not providing anything, and this has been going on for weeks, people.
In fact, one congressman even claimed that there was circumstantial evidence of an Iranian mothership off the East Coast launching these drones. Now, this is an important point, because people say, well, is it Russia? Is it China? Is it the Iranians?
I want people to think out there, okay? If the authorities in America, okay, if they really, truly, seriously thought that Iran, okay, was behind this with the aid of China, and they had some kind of mothership out there off the East Coast of America in the Atlantic Ocean, okay, where all these drones were being operated from, are we seriously led to believe that if the military thought that actually was what was happening, that this ship would not be located and blasted out of the water, the military will be in the skies, protecting the East Coast? Are we supposed to seriously believe that, people? This is just unbelievable that the public are meant to swallow this kind of stuff. This is just fascinating to me.
Who could it be? Is this a foreign actor who wishes us harm? It does beg the question, doesn't it? Why haven't we shot them down, though? Why have they not been taken out of the sky? They have been there for far too long. So that is a serious question.
For 4 weeks,
of course, there are those as well who believe that we might be dealing with something otherworldly, i.e. alien technology. The White House has attempted to calm fears, stating that many of the reported sightings are actually manned craft being flown lawfully.
If these are manned craft that have been flown lawfully, why is this not been, why has somebody from the authorities not come out and publicly stated this, if that is the case? I mean, the kind of speculation that the authorities are allowing the public, to come to the conclusions of, because they are doing nothing about this, is frightening in itself, that this situation is being allowed to develop like this.
The Federal Homeland Security Department and the FBI have also said that they have no evidence that the sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have a foreign nexus.
How can they say this if they are publicly coming out and saying that they have no idea who or what is behind this? That statement is laughable. It makes zero sense. What on earth is going on, people? Because Arno TV viewers, I'm sure, like myself, would like some answers to what on earth is going on. And how long are we going to have to wait out there, people, till this kind of thing is appearing in the skies above where you are? This is absolutely incredible.
Well, these assurances have done little to quell public concern. And you can read into that what you will, can't you? If they say that it doesn't pose a national security threat, does that mean that they know what they are and they are American.
Exactly.
You read into that what you will. The internet is abuzz with theories and discussions. A Facebook group called New Jersey Mystery Drones, Let's Solve It, has amassed tens of thousands of members, all sharing sightings and, of course, speculating about what's going on. The situation has even caught the attention of former President Donald Trump, who took what we would call over here in Britain a Route 1 approach to this. He said, let the public know, and now, otherwise, shoot them down. So that's his view. However, experts have strongly warned against shooting them down, emphasising the dangers of firing at any object in the sky. Can I just say at this point, I can fully understand why some people who live in that area would want to take a pot shot at them. Not that I'm encouraging it. If there's people watching this in the East Coast of America, do not take the law into your own hands and start shooting at objects in the sky. This could be so dangerous because nobody at this stage has any idea what these things are. Okay, and the dangers the dangers that you could be exposing not only yourself to all the population below by doing that. Okay, this is just not advisable at all. And the government, by not coming out, okay, and providing some answers, are only making that scenario we're talking about at the moment is more likely to happen. This is stupid providing no information. History has also highlighted the challenges that we face in an age of advanced technology. William Austin, president of Warren County Community College, which has a drone technology program, suggests that many sightings might be misidentified conventional aircraft.
And I'm sure there are a lot of mis-sightings at the moment. But that's probably because the government has come out and done absolutely nothing and said absolutely nothing. So obviously, there's going to be more people now looking at the skies, which will lead, obviously, to more sightings as a whole, This is just unbelievable, this situation that's just getting worse on a day-by-day basis.
It's a bit unlikely for me, but hey. He points to an optical effect called a parallax, which can make objects appear to move strangely when viewed from different perspectives. I suppose the question will be, well, why don't we see these things all the time then, if it's just aircraft? But for many residents, these explanations fall short. Trisha Bushy, a local who's been following the sightings closely, expressed her frustration. She says, how can you say it's not posing a threat if you don't know what it is?
Exactly.
I think that's why so many people feel uneasy, and I'm inclined to agree. The situation has put enormous pressure on federal and state agencies.
If things are flying around the skies above your head and your government is telling you that they have no idea what they are, who's behind them, what the motives are of who or what's behind them is, of course you're going to be concerned. What on earth? This is just making no sense whatsoever.
To provide more information. Governor Murphy has written to President Biden asking for answers. The FBI is actively investigating. Lawmakers are demanding briefings. As of now, no concrete answers.
Exactly.
Sightings continue, the speculation grows, and the mystery deepens. Are we dealing?
What do Arno TV viewers think of this situation? Please, someone leave some commentary, either in the chat in the stream or if you're watching this later, in the comments on the video. People sort of tell me, what do you think about what is going on? Because there is all sorts of speculation, as we've said, all sorts of theories going around, including, this one that we spoke about the other day. Is the government faking an alien invasion with drones? I.e. the ideas of things like Project Bluebeam. Okay, so let's just play you a little clip of this video, which kind of roughly explains the ideas behind Project Bluebeam for people out there that have never heard of anything like this. Let's just play you this video, okay?
Distinct from Project Blue Book, which you may be familiar with. And yes, I will define terms here in a moment and distinguish between the two. We've been talking about the drone issue lately, the mystery drones in New Jersey, which, by the way, I do plan on going to Jersey pretty soon and finding out what's going on there for myself. So stay tuned for more on that. But been doing videos on the question of these mysterious drones. And I specifically did one where I went over a video by Cliff High where it appears he predicted.
And Cliff High is the person that we've spoken about on the previous video and streams that we've done on this topic, and the prediction that linguistic software that he developed in the 90s made this prediction in 2009, okay? And this, may I remind people, was when Joe Rogan's podcast was in its infancy. It was no big deal like it is today. Donald Trump wasn't even in politics at that point, but this linguistics software identified a key marker, and that key marker was an interview would take place between Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. And 39 days after that key marker, the hidden science would come out into the open, and there was talks of crafts in the skies, that some of which were non-human technology, somewhat human technology, and there would be battles in our skies. And we showed on Saturday images and videos coming through of what appeared to be some of these so-called drones shooting out what appeared to be laser weapons of some kind. And we also saw some footage as well of what appeared to be these drones where something or someone was shooting projectiles at these drones, and these drones were seemingly be able to were looking like they had the ability to knock these projectiles or bullets or whatever they were out of the skies. Okay, that is a video that we watched on Casper Light's channel that we did in the emergency broadcast on Saturday. This is what people are seeing out there, okay? And this is what's leading as well to so much speculation, because as we keep saying, the government are saying absolutely zero, okay? Zero.
What's going on with the drones. Now, whether or not you agree that there's an actual prediction here, or you have a different opinion on it, that's fine. But I did a video on it. It reached a lot of people. Very, very popular video. And I got a lot of feedback in the comment section. And a ton of people were posting Project Blue Beam. I can't tell you how many comments I got of that nature. And I have to admit, until recently, I haven't even heard of this term. Now, I have actually kind of heard of some of the concepts associated with this theory here and there, but never as a coherent, unified theory until people started saying Project Blue Beam. And I say, okay, let me look into this, because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about this, and I need to know what's going on here and consider it. Look, I'm a very, in some ways, very skeptical person. In other ways, I'm pretty open-minded. I'm open to wherever the truth is. So when I hear a lot of people saying Project Blue Beam, okay, that gets my attention. So I started to look into this, and believe me, I'm only scratching the surface. I am sure there's a lot more that can be said about this, but I'm going to share with you what I've discovered so far and, kind of give you my overall thoughts on this. Whether or not this ties into the question of what we're seeing in Jersey with these drones. Is this the unveiling and unfolding of Project Blue Beam?
Who knows, people?
And also I'll consider some alternative theories. So if you don't go for that, maybe what might be a conceivable explanation for what we're currently experiencing in Jersey and really elsewhere. And after that, we're going to take a look at a few updates to the mystery drones from Jersey. So that's what is in store for today. But before we dive in, I want to remind y'all, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it, especially if you want to see this channel grow and reach more people with this content. Okay, I need to distinguish between Project Blue Beam and Project Blue Book very briefly, because there is a difference, though some people might believe there's a correlation here. There is a difference. Project Blue Book was actually a government project, whereas Project Blue Beam is a theory. Some say it's a conspiracy theory. Others say it's a very substantiated theory and explains what is going on today. So let me give you just a brief, very quick rundown. Project Blue Book, here's a description that I was able to come up with. Project Blue Book was a systematic study of unidentified flying objects, UFOs or UAPs, conducted by the United States Air Force from 1952 to 1969, aimed at determining...
I want people to realize that, from 1952 to 1969, this is well documented. Project Blue Book was, a legitimate project by the American government looking into the existence of UFOs. So I just want people to remember that this is not conspiracy theory, Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book is something that actually occurred, and the US military and the US government spent millions and millions of dollars on that project, okay?
Whether UFOs posed a national security threat and analyzing their scientific significance. So this is an actual government program that was in existence from 52 to 69. It was the third in a series of such studies following the Project Sign and Grudge. Over its duration, it investigated over 12,000 sightings and incidents, concluding that most had natural explanations, such as misidentified aircraft. Sound familiar with what some people are saying about the drones today? Weather phenomena, you've heard of that, right? The whole Roswell thing. Well, actually, it wasn't a UFO, it was a weather balloon. Okay, so we've heard that before, right? Weather phenomena or astronomical events. A small percentage of cases remained unexplained though the Air Force maintained these did not indicate evidence of extraterrestrial activity or advanced technology. The program was officially terminated in 1969, with its findings asserting no UFO or UAP posed a threat or warranted further investigation. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to feel like, well, that's not the end of the story, and there's a lot of new information that has come out since then. But that's what Project Blue Book is. Now let's distinguish that from Project Blue Beam, not the same thing. Here's a quick summary of Project Blue Beam. Blue Stream. Project Blue Stream is a theory that alleges governments, particularly the US, are orchestrating a fake alien invasion to create a global crisis, purportedly as a means to unify humanity under a single world government to justify increased militarization and surveillance. Now, proponents suggest that advanced technology, we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment, such as holographic projections and secret aircraft, would be used to simulate the invasion, creating fear and a need for global solidarity. So this event will cause a lot of people to panic and be afraid, and thus unite them together in a one world government. Some critics dismiss the theory as baseless and speculative, pointing out what they claim to be the lack of credible evidence and its reliance on assumptions about both technological capabilities and global political motivations. Now, it was popularized by Sergei Monast in his book, Project Blue Stream, or Project Blue Beam, I should say, where he claims NASA and the UN will implement a new religion with the Antichrist as the head. And in fact, Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, also incorporated some of this in some of his episodes for The Next Generation.
So that basically, guys, gives you a sort of rough rundown of what Project Bluebeam is. And now, I'm not saying that that is what is happening at all, but these are the things that people are speculating about with this turn of events, with this situation that seems to be getting worse on a daily basis, spreading to state after state, with these drones or UAPs or whatever they are, nobody knows, that, as I repeat, are flying around our skies with total impunity, and the government are providing no answers. Again, I'll leave the link to this gentleman's video in that, and I'll also leave the link, about project, on Wikipedia, about Serge Monast, who wrote that book regarding Project Bluebeam. So you obviously can look up that yourself. These are the things that are floating around, and theories that people are speculating on, as I've said repeatedly, because of the complete lack of any kind of information that's been provided by the governments out there. This is where we are, people. So let's just go back to the camera at Seaside Park in New Jersey. Let's just see if there's any updates there. Let's just go get the latest live feed. Just bear with me a minute, guys. Put it right on, and hopefully we'll have some up-to-date live footage now. So this is where we are at the moment with the live feed on the Seaside Park cam in New Jersey. There's the drone watch there. Obviously it looks like it's just getting dark over there. As I've said, it's about 4 hours behind over there, I believe, on the East Coast, UK time. There's not obviously a lot going on there. Let's just have a look on the internet, people, and let's just see if there's any, obviously anything live that's going on there over in the States that we can maybe have a quick watch of before I end this live stream. But as I said, I want people out there that watch Arno TV to start making some comments about what you think on earth is going on out there. What's this, 2 minutes ago? Let's have a look. So this is another clip from Fox, by the looks of it. This is 2 minutes ago. Again, the videos seem to be loading up very slowly again tonight, so I do apologize.
So Tennessee Republican Mark Green, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Sir, good morning to you. Help us understand what's going on.
Yeah, Bill and Dana, thanks for having me on. Look, the fact that they're out there saying there's no evidence means that they have no knowledge. They don't know what this is. And yes, of course, some of these wind up being manned flight, but not 5,000. And what's really tragic or frustrating to us in Congress is that the FBI has known about this since the beginning of November, and we're getting informed, just like with the Chinese spy balloon, after the public sees it. And
as this gentleman's saying, they've known about this from the beginning of November. We are now on the 16th of December, okay? And the government have provided zero information, but it's all right. Don't worry, people.
Raises concern. And that's really unacceptable. We're a co-equal branch of government. The Constitution's pretty clear, and they should have been communicating with us a lot sooner. And it's worse than just here in the U.S. I mean, we've had it happen over Ramstein Air Base in Germany. The DOD has the authority to shoot these things down. Northcom has the authority to shoot them down. And nothing yet has happened. And you can't find out what these things are until you get one in your hands. You got to get it, hack it, and download the data. That's the only way to discover it. DHS and DOJ and DOD have the authorities. They just haven't acted.
Do we have the capabilities?
Yeah, we have the capability, of course. I mean, we've learned a lot from the,
So as you can see, people, the situation is just the same as what it was. Now, obviously, I'm not going to stay on here all night. I just thought I'd come back on and give you an update, an emergency broadcast update on this UAP drone situation, okay? But this is where we are at the moment, people. And people, as I've said, need to start to come to terms with the fact that these things are flying around our skies with total impunity. No one seems to know who or what they are, and what their intentions are, who or what is behind them. This is where we are, people, and this is deeply, deeply concerning situation that is growing, and seems to be involving more states on a day-by-day basis. This is where we are, people. So I'm going to wrap this live stream up because I've shown you quite a lot this evening, and I'm going to leave all the links in the description to this live stream so you can go and look into this further, in your own time. But, as I said to you, anyone who thought that I was winding you all up when I did that first initial video a few days back on the UAPs and the drone situation, I'm not making this up, people. This is a deeply concerning situation that just seems to be growing, and more states are now involved in this. And, as I said, how long is it going to be before this comes to a town near you and the airspace near you? This is where we are, people, at the end of 2024. Incredible. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that because I'm actually in need of some refreshment now. I've been talking for quite a while. But, obviously, as I've said to you before, if you enjoy this channel and you watch these videos and you like this channel, then please like and subscribe to it. And once you've done that, ring the notification bell so I can inform you good people out there about future live streams that I'm going to be putting out and future videos that I'm going to be putting out. Now, I know a few of you have said, I'm not doing the usual videos at the moment. I'll be back on that as soon as I can. But, this at the moment, it is a deeply concerning situation that we have to cover because on the whole, the mainstream media in the UK, surprise, surprise, have been completely and utterly silent about what is going on. Okay, we've had a couple of videos today from GB News, but this has been going on since the start of November, for God's sake. I mean, I held off on putting videos out about this for a good few weeks. But, you know, it comes to a point where you can't ignore this stuff any longer. So, as I've said, please leave some commentary out there, you know, from my viewers on what you think on earth is going on out there, okay? I will be back soon, as I've said. So please like and subscribe to the channel, as I've said, and ring the notification bell so I can inform you of future live streams and videos I'm going to be putting out. But for now, I want everybody to take care. Thank you for watching this live stream this evening. If you're watching it live, much appreciated. If you're watching it on, you know, playback on the video later, then thanks also. But please, people, start leaving some comments about what you think is going on with this situation. But until next time, I'll be back soon with more videos for you. But until I am, okay, I want you to take care, look after yourself. And, you know, obviously we will be back soon as we can. Okay? We will be back soon.